But hey, Mr. Carter, it's like the Little Wayne song. Hey, Mr. Carter, tell me where you been. Welcome
You
back to
know,
the program, man.
thanks for having me back, man. I thought I might have got replaced. I was gone so long.
Well, if you keep on having all these out days, these sick days, we may have to fire you. You never know.
I know I'm burning up all my PTO week 1, week 2 of the year. We're not even into 20 episodes. I've already burned up all 14 of my PTO days.
That's true. How many have you met? So we did skip Tuesday because I was feeling ultra lazy. I didn't want to do it myself for like 40 minutes. And then I guess I've now had two. So yeah, it's been a total of 3. I have a perfect attendance record, by the way. God
Well,
forbid what happens the day.
minus the Tuesday you missed. I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah.
count that against you.
Well, I mean, it only helps your argument. You kind of have to.
Business didn't make any money that day. I mean, you could have been here and pulled the horse for us. You
Pull
didn't
the
do anything.
levers, clocked in, clocked out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you could have got something done. You didn't get anything done.
and you know who's not getting anything done? And I think we should lead the show off with this. Did you see the stuff going on in old Austin, Texas, of all places? I thought the police would have been quick to the scene, but apparently there have been some shortages.
This sheer stupidity in this video is hilarious to me.
I got to bring it up. There's 2 I want to bring up. There's one where the dude gets himself caught on fire, but here's the first one. This is the better one. This is the one that shows the incident. Let's just play it. This is in the middle of the night. I think this is Saturday.
The road's completely blocked. Like they're stopping traffic. You know how pissed that is? I gotta get home to work. Like we got to get home.
So why do you think no one just ran that shit and just ran someone over? Do you think they were afraid of getting chased? I'm guessing. I don't know, because like if I were one of those front cars, somebody is getting hit by your boy, and I'm just out. I don't give a flying F, dude. I don't give a crap. And here's the thing, that my only concern, obviously, if one of these dudes decide to chase me down in my little Camry, they're going to catch me. And then this is Texas. Those boys probably have guns or women. I don't know. We're trying to be,
So should you in
inclusive
Texas.
here.
So should you everywhere. In this crazy world, you should be carrying everywhere you go in this crazy world. If you can get a permit, you might as well get one.
You don't have a gun, do you? I don't have I want to get one, but they're expensive, dude. I'd rather spend that money on other things.
Mine was gifted to me, though. You're right. They are very expensive.
So there you go. You got one that was gifted to you. What do you got, a rifle or a pistol?
I got a little pistol. It's a little 380. It's nothing special.
Beretta. You got yourself a little Beretta?
It's a Taurus.
Nice.
It's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. It's fun to shoot, too. Fits right in your pocket.
Yeah, Mossberg 500 is going to be my entry into it, so I can get myself a shotgun, home defense. But all these apartment complexes, dude, they're a little. I mean, I would never tell them, but they're always sketched about you can't have any guns.
You're not allowed, yeah.
Yeah, sketchy shit. But
you could shoot through the wall and hit I wouldn't really want my neighbor shooting a gun off in their apartment. I'd just rather them be killed than shoot me. Like what I mean, they probably don't have good aim. I've seen the people that live in my complex. They don't shoot guns.
I wonder
how they're not using it often.
Yeah, and of course they're going through drywall, but I would imagine the vast majority of time you're probably shooting it into spots like your living room. But you're right, there would be that off chance someone gets jacked up from it in the other apartment. No doubt.
That'd be my luck. I shoot one off at an intruder and it ricochets and goes through and kills the poor old lady in the apartment next to me. That'd be my luck.
And I think your luck would honestly, yeah. I mean, you would definitely do that. You'd kill someone by accident for sure.
And then the intruder kills me and takes everything, which is not much. And it's like, wow, they could have let him have that $30 in your PlayStation. You didn't have to kill anybody. Like you could have just let him.
That's the thing for me. It's like you're coming in, you're getting nothing, brother. If you're coming in to rob me, you if it was like a lottery, you just got the worst of the picks.
It's like you bought a $20 scratcher and won $1, buddy. You're down.
Oh yeah. That may have happened to our next guy here, but what I want to stick to this Austin one and show you this video of these jackasses getting their just
this
desserts
is
in
great.
my eyes. This one
Selected
is
as
the
the
best
Custom
one.
Texas, a dynamic.
Look at
Yeah.
this. The whole truck catches on fire and just spits flames all over these fucking people.
I'm glad. This is what you deserve, though. For blocking traffic like a jackass, this is exactly what you deserve. Get caught on fire, and hopefully you got, a couple burns.
This alone, though, would be worth being caught in that traffic jam for 10 minutes just to see that if you were in the front row. And your
That's
buddy's
true.
yelling at you, you're like, dude, just wait. They'll be done. Like, they can't sit here forever. And then all of a sudden, boom, fucking cloud of fire just all over them, engulfed in flames. That dude in the fucking sagging jeans trying to run and shake the flames off. It's hilarious.
And it's already dumb enough that you're this close to a car, drifting around like that.
There's countless videos of people being clipped by cars doing those donuts at those street rallies. Like, I've seen so many of people being run over and their pants getting ripped off by the tire, and the guy just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, bro, you just got knocked the fuck out.
You got knocked the fuck out. But I'll at least give these drivers what kind of impressed me, because this is a truck that was spinning around there. I thought trucks were top heavy. I didn't think like you could really truly drift. I mean, they could weight it down in some way.
He's probably got leveling kits on it, and also, it looked like it was a lifted truck with like leveling kits and like spacers on the tires to make it more.
I thought that would make it even worse. So if you're higher up, like your engine's now higher over the center of gravity.
Well, if they leveled all the weight off, then they've expanded the base of the tires. The center of gravity gets lowered. I don't know, man. I'm not a fucking scientist, but the guy didn't flip. He just caught on fire. So
that's what I'm just saying. It's impressive that the truck was even able to do it. If there's any redeeming quality of that,
because that was a goddamn Ford. I don't know what it was, but
it was another wild weekend in America. And this wasn't this weekend, but this was wild. And I don't understand. I want to show this one from a dude. I don't know what happened to make this become an issue that,
Are we gonna get a copyright or anything or strikes for? Not that it matters, but I mean, is this a graphic clip that's gonna get us fucking knocked off of?
Well, I always mark it that it's not meant for children. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question, but
you vividly, like, you see this dude just catch round after round at one point. Like, the guy comes in with an ARs, an AK, or I don't know what it is, but he comes in just guns a-blazing at one point.
But here's the thing. I don't think it'll get one. If it were to get demonetized, well, we ain't making any money at the moment anyway. I would imagine we'll be fine.
All right, let's play it. Let's see.
Let's let it ride. I mean, listen, we're gonna have multiple. If we ever do get fans, please like and subscribe. We'll be fine. We're gonna have enough content to where we could clip this out and whatever. One video, 2 videos of ours don't get money. But speaking of just wild, this dude, I think this is in Queens, New York. I think it was February 15th. So I don't know. What was that last weekend technically?
Yeah, almost a week ago.
Yeah. No idea what happened, but he just decides to choose violence against this gas station owner, and we'll see. Shoots him in the face. Shoots him again. He doesn't have enough with what he just did, and he's going to come back with even more of a heater.
This is crazy.
What's even
insane. I think the guy gets up though, right?
Yeah, the guy's alive. That's what I was just
right there. He's up. Like, what in the? How bad of a shot is that guy? For one,
what I was just about to say. How terrible of a shot do you have to be? Like, you came in with a pistol, dead to rights, like this freaking close to his face. Then you get this semi-auto out and what looked like an AK. And you still can't. I mean, listen, I don't want this guy dead, but you still can't finish the job for whatever you were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I don't know. Was he robbing him? Like, what exactly? They said he was arrested, but what was it? The motive? Did that guy, like, was that his girlfriend's dad? Like, she was getting beat? Like, what was the? I'm thinking of some off the wall shit to shoot somebody. Like, I don't even know.
Sandwich? I don't know.
It could have been, maybe he said no mayo and he got full-blown mayo and he was pissed. That would make me mad.
I don't want tomato on this.
You can see. I mean, things are crazy
today's
in New
world.
York, man. It's already a high stress environment in the Big Apple. Do you imagine getting no bacon when you paid for extra bacon, especially in this economy? That's worth a couple of lead rounds.
Did you see, this is another one? I love that. I love that Twitter account, Clown World. It was another one. Speaking of extra bacon, this is a touch different. Mayo was more the condiment there. There was one going around of a lady at a McDonald's, got herself like a Big Mac or something like that, goes to the counter. She goes, I said extra ketchup. To the credit, from what you see in the video, they doused this thing in ketchup. But she just grabs it, squeezes it, throws it on the counter. And it's like, what the heck is this? Blah, 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 blah. And not so nice of words. And it was insane. And it's just like, dude, I would probably want it to be redone myself. But at the same token, you can approach that a little bit better.
No one knows how to act anymore. People completely fly off the handle at ridiculous things. It seems that everybody's on edge right now.
Well, and it might make everything more on edge because let's just perfect transition to old busy Biden. I don't know if he's busy.
Biden. He's busy, man. He's making surprise trips.
He's busy making a little European tour right now. He went to Ukraine, causing all sorts of havoc probably. But what do you think about that? Because now we got rumors of Putin pulling out of our START treaty, which is like our way to inspect their nuclear weapons. Then for us, China is or Xi Jinping may go over to Moscow and visit Putin. Rumor mill has it China may start giving weapons, maybe ammunition to the Russians. What are we doing here, you think?
I don't know. Didn't Putin say something about how the West is waging a war? So like basically that a war's coming, a global war. The West is starting a global war is almost verbatim what he said, I think. Well, I'm interested to see how this China-Russia deal plays out because if they start getting in bed together and start sending weapons to Russia, China does that. I don't know. That's to me is the start of World War III. If we didn't already start it by what we've done, and that rumor of the Nord Stream pipeline being blown up, that's something that is very interesting to me. That they've had a pretty solid report come out, and it's been told it's fake news the whole time, and that already is a red flag with the way everything else has gone since the 2016, if not before then, the election of 2012. I mean, everything's fake news now, and disinformation and all this shit, and it turns out I'd say over 50% of the time that's not the case. Maybe 75% of the time it turns out that it's probably exactly what happened, if not a version of it.
Yeah, I don't think we're helping our cause going into World War III. I mean, listen, I'm not saying, I think we have to remember it was Putin that invaded a sovereign country in Ukraine just sort of at whim. So it's not like the U.S. made it happen. I mean, people will, of course, claim, oh, NATO expansion, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, well, some of these countries wanted that. And then you go down a rabbit hole quick. And everyone has their, like, the U.S. is the most evil. Well, it's like, oh, well, the U.S. did a coup back in, like, 2012. And it's like, did we? Maybe we had a semi-hand in it. But at the same time, we've had this discussion before. Geopolitics is something like, if you can screw over the Russians, you're going to screw over the Russians. If they could do the same to us, they would do it. That's the game. I feel like
it's all a dirty cycle.
Well, that's the thing that people don't realize is it's like, oh, they think America's the aggressor. That's fine. You have the freedom to think that. But like, if we just stopped, do you think Russia ain't going to take the chance to slap America if they don't like? If they could, like, you think China wouldn't do it too, or a country of that ilk? So it's like you got to play the game. This is how it is.
Don't you think it's part of the reason they invaded Ukraine? They saw how weak America looked under Biden at the time, and knew that we wouldn't
Afghanistan and all that.
Right after seeing how we handled the pull out of Afghanistan and knowing that we're not really going to do shit about it. We'll slap you with sanctions that really don't mean anything. And then if everybody's, in a depression of sorts and economic wise, is it really a sanction? Like if everybody's feeling the same issue, aren't you kind of sanctioning yourself at the same time?
Yeah. And I think it stems back to a couple of things, man. I mean, Trump with COVID didn't handle that great. That came straight from China. Everyone knows that. And so probably from a laboratory, not a pangolin or whatever. And it's just like we weren't tough on that subject. Obviously, you get Biden coming in. He was just a big puss on Afghanistan. Both presidents. I think Trump would have pulled out and it would have been a shit show too, because he was planning to. That was his plan. So like that's the
Right,
one
but I
thing.
don't know if you pull out the way we did, leaving all that equipment there, which I know is kind of a thing they do in war. They leave a lot of equipment behind, but just the fact that we didn't get our own people out first was kind of a problem.
Oh yeah, that's
the whole thing was botched from start to finish. I don't know that Trump would have done better, but it couldn't have been much worse. That's for sure.
No. I think because Trump, what people don't remember is Trump, like Biden extended the date. Now he extended it to a stupid ass date, September 11th, like 20 years after the fact. That was dumb. But Trump had it like 4 months earlier, and the Pentagon was like, dude, we cannot do this. And so just because, to your point, we're going to leave all this crap there. I think Trump would have I think the Pentagon would have persuaded Trump to extend it. I don't think he would have maybe pulled out as rashly, but if he does go out on the date he set, he set the date, signed the agreement before Biden even took office. Mm-hmm. So like, that's something that no one ever talks about. And if Trump were to do it that much earlier, it would have been even more of a shit show. So it's just, I think all that was handled terribly. And to your point, though, like you were saying earlier, I think that's exactly one of the calculations for Putin, that it's like he had 4 years under a guy who was like, do we even need NATO anymore? Undercutting it. Then you get to Biden. He just had a debacle in Afghanistan. And Putin's like, if I'm going to take my shot, I got to.
Yeah. And then especially getting later in his life, he probably realized that his window's running out for him to make a big move that he wants to do. And now I think was the time to do it, right? And I'm not a geopolitician by any means, but to me, the U.S. appears weak on a global stage right now, from leadership to just the way we've been giving money to Ukraine. I mean, it's basically we're fighting a proxy war with Russia right now. And Russia knows that. If I know that sitting here, you don't think that Russia knows that? Like that everyone in the world knows that we're, just because we don't have boots on the ground, which we do in some instances. I know we have surrounding areas with boots on the ground, and we're pretty much ready at a moment's notice. But that's got to be. We'd feel very uncomfortable if Russia was sitting in Cuba right now, or Canada, or Mexico, just hanging out. Or if we were in a war with somebody and if we were in a war with Mexico and they're supplying Mexico with all the money, wouldn't that be an alarming issue? we would be pretty concerned.
I think the same token, though, because the money stuff really only started after Russia couldn't get the job done. You know what I mean? Like
they thought it was going to be a quick in and out.
Yeah,
like when they
and
took
it's
Crimea.
like no offense, if the United States decided to take over Mexico or Canada, choose a neighbor, we probably get the job done pretty quickly. Where like it's not, we're 6 months in and now we've barely done anything. It's probably like, we're a month in and we're already in the capital of Mexico City. Like Canada, 30% of their population is within like 30 miles of the border or something crazy.
But didn't we think that we were going to do that with Vietnam, and that didn't happen?
Yeah, but Vietnam is all the way across the world. It's not your neighbor.
I agree.
And it's in a jungle territory. And also we didn't go full on war.
Tough terrains. Wouldn't you think Mexico and Canada respectively would be some tough terrains to navigate?
Sure, but we're talking about things like 1970s technology versus.
Right now, wouldn't it be? It'd still be kind of difficult. Afghanistan itself was with now's technology was difficult for us to traverse. The mountainous areas, and in Canada, you just got the sheer cold weather.
We took Afghanistan over in a month.
But still, ISIS had a stronghold on. There was fighting in the mountains is not easy.
Yeah, but that was after so Afghanistan was always tough because it's mountains and stuff. But like that's I think
Isn't that how Mexico is though? Is it Mexico?
Yeah, but but who controlled the government, right? We controlled the government. There was
Sure.
just ancillary fighting. So I think it depends on how you want to define winning, right? Like if you define like
Sure.
or taking over, because like in theory, we took over Afghanistan in like the second we were there, and then we took over Iraq in like a month. I think it was maybe, yeah, it was actually like a month. It might have been a little bit short of a month. And so like it depends. We took it over, but yeah, then you're gonna have guerrilla fighting. So it depends. That was the thing with Vietnam. We never really got the entire country, but like we got a substantial chunk of it. And then it was just, you're in a jungle and again, you're not fully committed. So, and that's the thing with, I think in Mexico, if we were to have that hypothetical, you just got to take a couple of areas and then you take the country.
True. And I think the difference in Mexico is that it's surrounded by water on two sides, and we have the best Navy in the world. We would literally flank both sides of that entire country, and it'd be over.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to project force, as they say, because it's all sitting right here. So, but
yeah,
either way,
Canada would be the tougher of the two, but because it's so vast. I mean, you could take over major cities quickly, but the entire country, I don't know. I think of it as like taking the entire landmass, and it's much larger, much colder, mountainous as well.
Yeah. See, I think the thing in most wars, though, because like, I don't know, I think most people would agree that, oh, Hitler took over France, but in theory, he didn't take over all of France when he invaded. He just got to Paris and then went south a little bit. He didn't even and then they settled and made a government that was friendly to him. So it's like, you kind of don't have to take over the entire landmass. You really just got to get the big population centers, and then
which is
you're pretty good.
Isn't most of that within 50 miles of the U.S. border? Like most of the
Canada?
population of Canada?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, their biggest population, like Detroit, is higher up because Toronto, I think, is the biggest city. So, yeah, like essentially from Michigan all the way over to Maine, like that's where it is.
And then
like
just a little bit above
Washington,
like a little bit above Washington State, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, Vancouver. But that's not that big of a city. But yeah, I mean, but again,
if you wanted to control the country, you'd want to take both. Just theoretically,
if we're having a hypothetical for sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking in hypothetical if we wanted to take Canada, which we might have to get to that point the way those fucks are going up there. Might have to just take them in.
I think some of them might want to join us. I would think some of the country folk in like the less populated places might want to be like, yo, we're out of here.
Finally, we're American.
Yeah, let's go to.
I don't have to fly down there half the year. I'm American now.
Listen, I am all for. Just on a side note, I am all for America expanding states as long as it makes sense. Like Greenland, when Trump wanted to get Greenland, let's take that thing or at least buy it. However, we got to do it. But I think that I'm all for America. Like, who says that it has to be 50 states? I think it can get bigger, but that's neither here nor there. If you're not growing, you're dying. You know what I mean?
All right, it is a business, and we're in debt. We need more income.
We do. And hey, Greenland specifically, there's a lot of good stuff there. A lot of oil, a lot of precious minerals. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. We should have took that when we had the chance. Instead, you got Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene wanting a national divorce. She wants to do the opposite.
That was a ballsy thing to say. You know what I mean?
Well, she's crazy. Like that woman, how she keeps getting elected. There must be like 32 people that are in her district, and they're all family members. Like I don't know how she's even.
She is in like a blood red district, but yeah, and to make matters worse, she did it on President's Day of all times, which is like, it's not the 4th of July or anything, but it is sort of a, hey, this is a rally around the flag type of thing, and let's see it.
But everyone she talks to says it, Chase. So I mean, it's gotta be.
That's what she says. Can I read it from her?
Should be able to.
I should. These things always get me.
I'll read it for you. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene at 8:43 a.m. on February 20th, 2023 says, "We need a national divorce. We need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this. From the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats to the Democrats' traitorous America last policies. We are done.
I like traitorous. I didn't know that word is
I nailed that
traitorous.
too.
That was traitorous, but I like the way you
I
pronounced
nailed it the way I said it, didn't I? I nailed it.
You did. Listen, your name is Reed for a reason. You can do it. You can be it. You can believe in it.
Well, in my mind, if you just say it with confidence, if you wouldn't have pulled it up, people would have just thought, "Oh, she's traitorous," whatever that means.
like, what is that? That's a new word, huh? Traitorous. Definition, please. Like in the spelling bee, they're trying to. Can I get that used in a sentence?
It's got to be similar to a
traitorous American last policies.
A traitorous is similar to a clitoris. It's all in the same.
Whoa! Now we're in sex ed. Listen. My initial thoughts on this is I was like, this is one, she's calling Democrats traitors while she's literally saying a traitorous type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of ironic. And she's saying it from the party that literally saved the United States Union. So it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well,
I don't know.
Her bio says she's the congresswoman for Georgia District 14. She's a Christian, a mom, a small business owner, a proud American, 100% pro-life, pro-gun, pro-Trump.
Did she say pro-America in there?
She's proud American, 100%.
See, I don't know how you can square that circle saying you're a proud American, but then saying we need a national divorce. And then she also says it right. She says we need to separate the red and blue states and shrink the federal government. Does she not understand that if there's a national divorce, there is no more federal fucking government? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
She didn't get that far. She just wants to separate first. It's typical woman. She wants a divorce, didn't think about anything else. She just wants out.
She did recently get divorced, or at least filed for one. Maybe she was having that at the back of mind. It was 8:30 or 8:43 in the morning. She probably just got back from like a hot yoga class or maybe some CrossFit. I think she's into CrossFit. Probably had a little too much blood flowing to other parts of the body versus her brain, and just decided to regurgitate this on Twitter and make. She probably got what she wanted because she got a hell of a lot. 30 million people viewed that. So I would imagine that's more than her going rate.
I mean, it's got 10,000 retweets and 76,000 likes. I mean,
how many comments? Did it get ratio? Can you see? I already clicked off of it.
It doesn't tell me how many comments.
Well, speaking of presidents, I think because I'm pretty sure it got not ratio, but it got close. Where did I want to see this? Oh, did you see? Because I wanted to get your take on this. Where is this one? Old Jay Carter, your boy, probably somewhere in your family tree.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Carter is honestly, that is a pretty common last name. What is that? What is Carter supposed to mean? Do you know? Are you guys like caretakers? Is that what like Carter came from? Or maybe
your guess is as good as mine, man. I mean, maybe caretakers, or maybe it had to do with like carts, like we would wheel you around in the cart. I don't really know.
Or cartel. Are you guys into drug running? Is that how your family made its money? Drugs?
No. I mean, yes and no. It's of Irish, English, and Scottish extraction. The origin of the Carter surname is mostly occupational, deriving from someone who used a wagon or a cart to transport goods from place to place. Carter can also stem from a Gaelic word, cartier, a description of someone who is a traveler or a non-native.
Bless you. Speaking of blessings, Jimmy Carter may want some blessings because here's his statement on President Carter's health. 98 years old, this guy. Not longest living president, but the oldest living president. That's alive. But it says, after a series of short hospital stays, here I go, traitorous, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter today decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention. I don't know what was going on with him medically, but okay. I would be curious what that is.
Dementia and shit.
Well, he's 98, dude. I mean, that's old.
Yeah.
If I could live to 98 as healthily as he had, I would take it. He has the full support of his family and his medical team. The Carter family asks for privacy during this time and is grateful for your concern shown by many of his admirers. First question, and I don't want to berate a dying man. I don't know who his admirers are from like purely political. He wasn't that fantastic.
Yeah, wasn't he like really philanthropic, and he did a lot of social justice shit like after his presidency? Didn't he do a lot of that?
Yeah, so I mean, and he was like, he was like a big devout Christian. So he is off of the political stage, a genuinely good dude from all accounts.
Right. But
Bill
economic-wise,
Clinton.
from what I know, wasn't he known for gas lines and fucking?
Well, that was his big
was
thing.
In the shitter. Didn't he have the deal with? It wasn't Iran Contra. It was
that was
another fucking. It was another dumbass fucking proxy war we were in though.
It was, well, I don't know if it was a proxy war, but it was when the Iranian Revolution was happening. We had basically OPEC was one deal that happened. That was the gas lines where they embargoed us. And then Iran had the revolution. And I'm pretty sure we had like hostages there that really.
That's what it was. The Iran hostage situation.
Ben Affleck. I don't remember the name of that movie, but Ben Affleck has a movie about it. If you want to go check it out, it's there. What is that name? Look it up. Just type in Ben Affleck. See what the name is real quick. I
think I'd have to type in more than Ben Affleck. But
dude, if you type in Ben Affleck, it'll say all his movies. It's like in the past 10 years, so it'll.
Yeah, but I could just. It's called Argo, but I mean, I could just type in Ben Affleck Iran, and it would come up.
Well, you didn't.
Let me just type. Just for your pleasure, let me just type in Ben Affleck, and I'll show you what comes up. Batman, Deepwater, Gone Girl, Good Will Hunting, Justice League, The Town. I mean, I would have been here all day going through movies.
Yeah, and if you rattled off Argo eventually, I'd be like, hey, stop. That's the one. That's where we need to be.
Let's just get right to let's cut to the chase.
Ooh, I like that. Right to the cheddar, baby. Right to the cheddar cheese. I personally, though, would have loved to just go through the catalog of Ben Affleck. There's some good movies in there.
Well, we can. Whatever. I mean, what's your favorite then? Just off the names I just listed.
I Am Legend. That's my favorite one of his.
Well, let's go off the top 6 right here. Batman vs. Superman, Deepwater, Gone Girl, Good Will Hunting, Justice League, and The Town. Give me your top 3.
Okay, so top 3 tied 1 and 2 between Good Will Hunting and Gone Girl. I thought Gone Girl was pretty good.
That was a good movie.
And then what was I like Batman vs. Superman. I actually enjoyed that movie, so I'll round that off. I'll give him that third round. Deep Horizon, you said he was in? Never saw it.
I didn't. Deep Water, not Deep Horizon. That's Mark Affleck. That's Mark Affleck.
Oh, they're all white guys. They're the same. They all look the same.
I would go Good Will Hunting at number 1, The Town at number 2, and Gone Girl at number 3. He was also in Pearl Harbor. He's been in a lot of movies, man. Quite a bit.
Pearl Harbor I never saw, but I heard it was good.
I never saw Pearl Harbor?
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in. I heard the speech. But I never saw the movie.
But you never saw the movie, man?
Well, I think knowing that statement's a little more important than the stupid movie. Who said that statement, Reed? Do you even know? December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. Yeah, you got it right. It was FDR. Speaking of something that may or may not be right, have you seen this? This just came up on my Twitter. Or on the AlwaysOn. Have you?
Dude, I saw this. I sent it to my brother, and he goes, dude, you just ruined my whole.
So here's what I hate.
Just listen to the first line, I think, in this. Where she goes, she goes, roll tide, go Vols SEC. Like, that would get you shot.
Wearing these jeans, roll tide, go Vols SEC.
That would get you shot in Tuscaloosa or Knoxville.
So what I hate
both of those.
What I hate about this, just in Tyler, because, dude, I love country music. Like, I love country music so much, dude. I will listen sometimes to, like, 1950s country music. Like,
the older country music is better than the newer shit.
This exemplifies it. This is just rap and she's trying to say she's country. And I hate that, dude. How rap has just infiltrated. And I like rap, dude. Don't get me wrong.
But this is
How
not
rap,
country music.
No, has rap has infiltrated everything, all those beats and shit. And it's like, dude, I like a good beat, love it, but keep that stuff to rap and house music. Like, keep country what the genre is. But I don't know. You know, it is what it is. People want to listen to this. I'll give her. She's kind of cute, but
go ahead.
I don't want to listen to her.
This is not anything I would ever put on my iPod.
Okay, I got to bring it back up. Give me a second here. I don't even want to play the fucking rest of this thing. Here we go.
Drinking, fighting, riding, races, trackers on the straight and southern bells. Get right beside us. Damn good day when the fish are biting. Top of
She called herself a Southern Belle. That ain't no Southern Belle, but whatever.
sinking bobbers. I get these looks from my mama, kick gas from my father. Come on, survive.
What does that mean? Looks from my mother. What is kick gas? Does that mean ass?
No, kick
We
ass.
She says
live
gas.
stealing hearts with the shitting, grinning, fried chicken.
She's just a perfect symbol of Gen Z, where like she's got a tat sleeve on a woman, which is ugly to me. Get it if you want it. She's trying to be country. She's trying to be a rapper. It's like, choose your lane. But she's probably going to come out as pansexual soon. We'll have the first
100%.
pansexual country star or whatever. I hope she's not a star.
Whatever it takes to get her over the top, man.
Do we know what her name? Song of the Summer. That was on Barstool who said that. Song of the Summer, that is. Good Lord. Sure as hell ain't Song of the South. No doubt about that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't even know where to go from there.
I don't know. That almost might be a good place to end it with fucking that terrible.
No, we can't end it on that.
The terrible rendition of Song of the South. I got to go cut my ears off. That was horrible.
My ears are red spewing out of my ears right now because, oh my God. I honestly, every bit of that disgusts me. And I hope everyone else agrees. I'm usually on the wrong side of all this. So probably.
No, that was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
So who I saw this just today scrolling through old Twitter. Who sent it to you, or did you just see it?
I saw it. I think I saw it on Instagram or something.
Does it say, what is her name? Katie something, whatever. We don't even know. Katie, you would have been a lot hotter if you didn't get all those tats and you weren't trying to be a fake rapper.
Yeah,
but
I'm better off. I'm better off not knowing her name, actually.
Well, you don't want her to come in with her looks from her mama and kick your gas. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, she will put the beat down on you, brother. Because it's Tennessee and Alabama. SEC.
How do you like both Tennessee and Alabama? That's insane.
They're literally the biggest rivals. Like, dude, Tennessee fans will say that's their biggest rival, even over Florida. It's
100%.
Like, come on. So stupid. But I guess since we're on the SEC and NCAA, how about the rule changes, the potential rule changes? I think the whole point of them is to speed the game up.
That's what they say. But, I mean, how are you going to speed the game up when you keep getting in bed with more and more sponsors and you just have to take more commercial breaks? Like, I don't – that would speed the game up if you stopped taking commercial breaks after every fucking drive.
Yeah, because I'm trying to bring up this Ross. What is it? Is his last name Dellinger? Is that how you say it?
Maybe. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we'll say it. I want to give Ross his due. But yeah, he says here are the 4 possible rules proposals under consideration. First, let's just go one by one here. Prohibiting consecutive timeouts, i.e., icing the kicker. Are you yay or nay on that?
Or I mean, it's
yeah.
Fuck it. It's unnecessary. If that's one thing we can do to speed it up, potentially fine. It's unnecessary. These kids are, I mean, it doesn't work in the NFL. Why is it going to work in college? These kids are already flaky as is. Just, you don't even need to call a timeout. They're already going to shit their pants.
I'm
Big
50-50 on
it. See it all the time.
I'm 50-50 on it. Don't really give a crap. If they want to keep it, I think keep it. I say keep the status quo on that one. No need to change it. Second one, no untimed down at the end of the first and third quarter. I didn't even realize this was a rule. So, like, essentially when you're coming out into the second and you're going into the third, you essentially can just sit there for a lot longer. Like, there's no clock, countdown clock, Is that what that means?
I think it means for like holding play or pass interference where the time expired in the quarter. So we would just go into. So we would just go into the second quarter. We wouldn't do an untimed down.
I think that's stupid. That's like half a second, but whatever. I would say no need for that one. But again, I think the first two, take them or leave them. And then the third one, clock runs after first downs except inside of 2 minutes. So this is the most NFL. This is NFL as it gets. And I don't want that at all.
I don't like it at
I
all.
wish the NFL would go to the college rules and actually stop the clock.
Yep, because they just started doing that recently, didn't they?
Yeah, and did you see, because I looked at the actual article, you know what the actual difference is on average between an NFL game and a college football game?
What is it, 4 minutes?
It's a little longer. It's like 10 minutes on average.
What's the difference?
I want to look at it real quick.
So they say a college game is longer than an NFL game?
Yeah, and they have, because like halftime's longer because you got the bands.
Oh, you got the band. That is one thing I saw Clay Travis mention, that we could speed these games up if you just stop having the bands come out at halftime.
I don't like that at all. That's a part of I mean, listen, do I watch the band? No, but that's part of college football. That's like saying, hey, how about we just take the band out of the stadium entirely? No one would want that. So I think give the band their due and just let them have, a couple minutes to strut their stuff for all I care. It doesn't bother me. But it said in this article, the one on, I think this was the SI one, that the Ross Dillinger guy just, are you going to mute yourself when you get up to take care of your dog, guy? Don't even talk, because no one wants to see your empty chair. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. So in the average game in the FBS in 2022 was 3 minutes and 21, 3 hours and 21 minutes. The average game in the NFL is 3 hours and 10 minutes. So it's 11-minute difference. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. I don't think any of these rules need to be changed. I think, as to what you were saying before, it's probably some way to get them more money or advertising dollars. And I think that's the real thing that needs to be changed, is how about you cut some of the ads instead of after a punt, then going to commercial, then coming back for, 5 seconds, then going to another break. How about you cut some of those ads out, and then now you got your shorter game. Boom. Oh, you're back. Welcome to the club. What were you doing?
She pissed on the couch.
Oh, well, that's why you put her in a cage, baby.
She lives in a cage all day while I'm at work, man. Can't keep her in a cage her whole life. You want to live in a cage your whole life?
Well, I'm not owned by another person. Like, you literally own something. So it's like, you can kind of do what you want with it.
Well,
it's not like it's a human. But whatever.
Well, I choose to keep my possessions not in cages.
And now they're pissing on your couch. So listen, you win some and you lose some, guy.
No one would have known. No one would have been any wiser if you didn't say anything. I was back in time. No big deal.
I know, but I felt like you had like 4 minutes by yourself. I had to do that for like 6 because you're a goddamn dog.
6. I can't wait to go back and check the tape on that timer.
Oh, are you kidding me? That was like a minute. And then the last one.
I agree that it definitely comes down to dollars, man. These rules are all fucking arbitrary bullshit. None of it's going to make a hill of beans of difference when you got commercial breaks after every possession. Sometimes after third downs, just 2-minute warnings. Fucking, it's ridiculous. Go to a football game, go to a Gator game, and watch how long these guys are just standing around, just like, waiting for them to come back from commercials.
Well, and it's like, it was a nice thing that they introduced it because when the game's back on, but you get to see the official with the clock saying how long the commercial is going to go, and they're always like 3 to 4 minutes. And so it's like, dude, how about you shave that down? If you want to shave off 10 minutes to make it the average NFL, okay, well, instead of making it 4 or 3, now make it 3 or 2. There you go.
I wouldn't even be mad if they did like soccer and put the hologram ads on the field. Like, whatever. If that would cut off 10 minutes of commercials, fine. Throw an ad
I
on the
think
field. Throw a Home Depot ad across the fucking bottom. I don't give a shit.
I think the guy who got it right, and I don't know, I want to give him credit, but I can't remember who it was. It was either the dude that does the On 3 podcast for them, or it might have been Brandon Walker for Barstool, where they were saying essentially cut a portion of the ads, charge more, and then there you go, you make your revenue back. But we all know it's just a freaking money grab, dude. They're trying to expand out. But that's where I don't understand. If the game goes longer, doesn't that mean more advertising revenue to you? So what? And no one is complaining. Like, I am not complaining that college football is 10 minutes longer than your average NFL
that's
game.
the thing. Who's really making this an issue? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big problem here? Because it sounds like a win-win for everybody. Fans get more football. I mean, sure, some games do just take an astronomical amount of time. You're just like, how the fuck is this game still on? But at the same time, wouldn't that mean more commercials and more dollars in your pocket?
Yeah, I don't get it. But let's do the last one here. It says clock runs on incompletions once ball is spotted. So I don't like that.
That's terrible. That changes the game completely. Does it not change the game completely?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
Your whole playbook would change, right? Especially in a 2-minute drill.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the one of the four that would be like. I was actually watching. It was Josh Pate, Late Kick Josh, went on Brandon Walker's podcast or whatever his thing is. I think it's Unnecessary Roughness, which I've never really watched before. It's due to Pate being on there, and they were talking about this, and he was saying, I believe it was Pate who said this, the reason they probably did that was because that's the one that's ridiculous, and then it makes the other 3 or 2, whichever one they decide to go with, seem more palatable. Like, like, hey, we're going to cut your entire hair off. Like, no, that's freaking crazy. Okay, well, how about we just do like 2 inches? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's better. Yeah,
100%. I think it's definitely a tactic they're using to get in the other shit they want that people might not necessarily go for on its own. But when you back it up into some outrageous shit and you're like, all right, we'll cut out those. And you're right. It does make it way more palatable, especially to a fan that doesn't want to see college football become the NFL when it ever more is every day. I mean, every time you turn around, you see college football going that way, especially with NIL, the way that these players are acting entitled to money before they even play it down. That's
playoffs in general, playoff expansion now. Yeah.
Yep.
So
the way the super conferences are being aligned, I mean, it is becoming the NFL every day.
It's gonna be semi-pro eventually. By 2050, it's gonna be semi-pro. I guarantee you. Now, speaking of rules changes, this one's actually official now. Switching gears to the MLB. Did you see that the Ghost Runner is now permanent for all extra innings? I don't like that rule at all.
That was my most exciting thing going into the year this year, was to be going back to regular extra inning baseball. I mean, I'm with you. I don't want to see a baseball game that lasts 7 hours or whatever the fuck. But also, you got guys that come in extra innings and you give up a walk and a base hit, and next thing you know, you got a guy on third. You're already down a run, and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
And how does that?
It's not really fair to me. I think I get both guys start with it, sure, but it is a much different dynamic to come into extra innings with a guy on second base, like.
Well, and my thought is, how is that scored in the if you're doing like you're charting out the game, do they just say nobody is now on second? Because now what do you do?
Well, the guy who made the last out in the previous inning goes to second base.
Sure, but then let's say that guy now gets his score, right? So that means now there's an extra RBI to somebody who doesn't really deserve it. There's now an extra scored run to somebody who doesn't really deserve it. So, like, you're now padding these two stats potentially, not by much, more than likely, but you're still making it to where, I don't know. I can accept the shift thing. I actually do like the pitch clock, but at a certain point, let the game, the essence of the game, stick where it's at. Like that to me was ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
speaking of the pitch clock, it came, rearing its ugly head this past week. I'm going to try and pull up the video, but a Tennessee player called out on the pitch count rule or pitch clock rule. He wasn't in the box in time.
A Tennessee, like in college?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was Tennessee.
I didn't realize that they did that in college.
Yeah, they. Let's see.
Well, get your ass in the batter's box, dude. I mean, good Lord, you got to do what you got to do. And I think in college, and it's probably been in college for a minute, if I had to guess. So
it has.
get
I
your shit
remember
together.
it came into college for a while, like probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been there for a hot minute.
It was Arkansas. It was Arkansas play.
What I don't understand after I was watching Florida USF, is speaking of just rules changes, I don't get why college baseball just doesn't do away with these BB core bats. They kind of suck. They sound atrocious, in my opinion, versus the old metal bats. Why not just, since it's essentially becoming more and more an avenue versus going to the majors, going to the minors, why not give them wooden bats? I think that needs to be a rule change. Go back to what it used to be. Go back to the wooden bat era, like in the 70s.
I was going to say, when was college baseball wooden bats?
It was the 70s. Funny enough, my brother's wife, her dad, played in the MLB, and he held the Arizona State batting title and still holds it for wooden bats. The person who broke his record was a gentleman named Barry Bonds. But he had metal bats. So, and I mean, he's Barry Bonds.
Damn, don't pull up that link. It doesn't show the fucking video.
Oh, it doesn't show the video. All right.
I don't know why.
Let's go to a link here. I don't know if you saw this one. Did you see how intense they take soccer in the DRC and Africa?
That shit blew my mind.
How crazy was this? It was. Let's bring it up here. I gotta find it first. Here we go. So what I love about let's level set this real quick. A women's team chased and beat up a ref that did not award them a penalty kick while the team that chased them was trailing 5-1. So this was utterly meaningless. And
that's the momentum shifter right there. They're just hunting him down. He's trying to run and hide. Woo!
Ooh, did you see her? Did you see 11?
Yeah. They come in and start kicking.
He comes in hot, dude, with the cleat, dude. Bang!
Oh, that's a drop kick. I like the band still playing in the background.
Yeah, the boo-boo sailors are like, I love it. I fucking love it. What kills me about soccer, and this just goes to show and I hope football, whether it's pro or college, never gets to this like ridiculous level just of utter nonsense. I know in Argentina it's this way. I'm pretty sure in like Premier League Britain it's this way. A lot of soccer leagues where like they literally have to quarantine off sections of the field, like put fences around sections. So like hooligans is the British term of like super fans of these teams or clubs don't beat up other sections or like storm the field, which to me is just, yeah. Oh, it happens. Dude, in Argentina, there was like, they literally, refs have to get escorted out in Argentina. Like, who was it? It was Mark Wahlberg, I think, was saying this. Speaking of old, no, it wasn't Wahlberg. It was one of those guys. Goodwill
Mark Affleck?
Matt Damon. It was Matt Damon. He said one of the craziest things he had, because apparently his wife's Argentinian, yada, yada, yada. They go to this like Champions League game where it's the two big teams fighting it out for the championship. And he goes, to the dad. He goes, "Hey, I want to go see this game." He's like, "Hey, we can go, but the women cannot go." And he's like, "Why?" He goes, it's like it's going to be insane. Like we can't guarantee their safety." And he said they went, and he goes, it was like essentially, he didn't say this, but this is how I interpreted it mentally. It was like walking into a club where like they searched him. They completely searched him. So people didn't bring like guns or knives into the stadium. They said that everything was like quarantined off, and like apparently they tried to like chase refs down, burn down the stadium, like do wild stuff.
What
Wild.
the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being that big of a fan of something to where that I'm that riled up about shit. Like,
yeah, I hope America never like. I'm all for getting rowdy and having fun at these games, screaming at the top of your lungs, shitting on the players, all that good stuff. But like at the same time, same stuff like we were talking about with what's going on in Austin and what that dude did at I think it was a deli in Queens. Like at a certain point, just control your emotions, people.
Exactly.
Control your emotions.
Exactly.
It's not that hard.
Man.
The one thing
going to shit.
The one thing I wanted to leave off with, since we can wrap it up here, is did you see? This is just semi-world news. Did you hear about the flight that went apparently to nowhere? It left from New Zealand, went, I think, like halfway, had to turn itself around, and ended up back in New Zealand. Guess, what do you think would have been the reason why? It was heading to New York, by the way.
Why? I don't know, dude. What? Like, why did you get halfway and turn around? Because you couldn't say like fuel, because it's like, bro, you're halfway. Like a mechanical error, you would land at the nearest airport. Like, where would you be?
So
you would have to be over. Don't they fly? They don't fly over the Pacific, right? They fly over land the whole way. Do they fly over India? Like, do they? Which way do they fly?
That's a good question. I would imagine the quickest route would be
the Pacific, right?
Would be going over the Pacific, but I don't know. That's actually an interesting question. I really have no idea.
Because the reason they would turn around, maybe the pilot forgot his fucking cell phone. Like, I don't know.
No, so this just goes to show New York how just certain things in America seem to be crumbling. Apparently, one of the terminals at, I think it was JFK, it might have been LaGuardia, but I'm pretty sure it was JFK. Like the terminal that they would have landed in, apparently all the electricity just went out.
So they couldn't land anywhere else.
Enough of the time. I don't know, dude, but it was enough of a time. And I don't know how long that flight is. So I guess, let's say it's 18 hours. So like, yeah, you essentially got halfway, because if it was a 16-hour flight, I would be so pissed, dude. So pissed.
Especially because you're not making that flight for no reason. You got a reason, like you got somewhere to be. So now you're 2 days behind, because it's already like pretty much a day trip to get there.
Yeah.
God, that would suck. Could you imagine if you passed out drunk on that flight, woke up and go ready to get off, and they're like, yeah, welcome to New Zealand. You're like, wait, what?
And if it's an American airline on international flights, drinks are free. So you could get sauced up on one of those flights and then wake up and be like, where the hell am I, dude? Oh, you're still in New Zealand.
You would be completely fucked. Try explaining that to your boss. Be like, no, I was on the flight. It literally turned around halfway. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, go look at JFK. One of the terminals is out. I swear to God. It's like, dude, did your dog eat your homework too, guy? Well, I think on that note, ended on a light note. Do you want anything else we kind of hit it all besides the honors classes. I know you weren't an honors student, so.
Yeah, doesn't pertain to me.
Somebody just lied. Be like, what are you talking about, dude? What you talking about, Willis?
Didn't pertain to me, Willis. But
you never took any honors classes?
No, fuck no.
Huh. I always did that shit for the weighted GPA. It makes it so much nicer.
Nah, I didn't do any of that. But Turkey did get hit with two more earthquakes, so that fucking sucks. They're getting pounded out.
Did you see how many people have now died?
Yeah, over 47,000. It's almost 48, I think.
And I'm pretty sure that's just Turkey. That's not even included in the Syria.
Yeah, because there was Syrians too. I think there's another. I think I saw 4,000. Maybe could have been a different number.
Last I saw was around 4. Yeah, dude, what a
Yeah,
utter shit show that is, huh?
Yeah,
I just hope, God forbid, something like that happens in California. I really hope that there's all the regulations that they have keep those buildings up, because I don't want anything like that to happen out there. That would be insane. For how the government's treating East Palestine, they may not give them any money.
Well, heaven forbid California were to just split off with the San Andreas Fault or something. Wouldn't that just be terrible? I would never want to see California just drift off into the ocean.
I mean, some of their policies are dumb, but the state itself, I've only been there. I've been there once, but it's beautiful ass state. So I wouldn't want it to be gone. I like it. I like California as a place. Some of the people, I can take them or leave them. But California as a place is one of the coolest. It's probably, besides Alaska, never been there, has to be the most beautiful state in the country. I mean, I don't know where else can you go
Oregon.
from a desert, a
Oregon's
mountain,
cool.
and then to the beach? Boom, boom, boom. All in a day, if you wanted to. I don't think there's anywhere else you could do that in the States.
Well, you could go to the landfill out off 64. That's your mountain. You could go play the county golf course in the summer. That's a desert. And then you could go to the beach. I mean, we got it right here, man.
Yeah, we got all the beach you can ever need here, no doubt. No doubt about it. That's like my favorite fact, is that the highest point in Manatee County is the dump. Besides a building, I'm assuming we have a building that's taller, but like the highest geographical feature is a pile of human waste.
It's beautiful. It sums up Manatee County perfectly.
I think it sums up humanity perfectly, realistically. We live around a pile of waste, baby. I love it.
That's it. That's what we do here, man. We just eat and waste.
So I guess let's are you good? I'm good to wrap it up here. We kept it pretty concise, about an hour. This is what we need to strive for. This is what the people want. This is what gets the people going.
In and out, to the point, always on.
Always on. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. Shout out to Courtney Snyder. If you made it this long, I will know, because hopefully you'll maybe text me. And adios, amigos.